Resilience, the ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Got to have it. It's going to happen, but man, we got to excel it. The cracks of living life, playing in the NFL, fill them with gold, man.
It's time for a New Year's weekend edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, inside the Globe Live studio here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, as the Cowboys coming off 2 straight wins since we last convened here. A win over Philadelphia at home on Christmas Eve, and then the Thursday night win over the Tennessee Titans. And Coach, Happy New Year to you. And where would you say things are as you reach this long weekend for the players after getting those 2 wins under your belt and a second straight 12-win season under your belt as well?
Well, I think the obvious is, we're 12 wins and still we're in a position to, win the division and obviously need a lot of help. But I think just like anything in our game, you just got to keep your eye on the ball. And, we've had a number of, players injured and working at different combinations. I really like obviously the win against Philadelphia, but the changes that we made against Tennessee, a lot of good things came out of it. I know there's a lot said about the, actually the score and so forth, but just starting with defense. If you look at the defense, the ability for Dan and the staff to play the different combinations of defensive personnel, and we definitely took a good step forward there. I thought the focus and the organization and that was definitely a step better from Philadelphia, from Jacksonville, Philadelphia through Tennessee. So feel good about that. So run defensive fits were better, but it's big play production. And that's really what it comes down to. So both sides of it, and that's something that we'll spend a little extra time in an emphasis area when we get back, because we're going to need it in Washington, and most importantly in the playoffs. It's a big plays factor so much in the outcome of these games. And
when you look at your offense against Tennessee in that game, they were loading up to stop the run in that game. You threw the ball a lot in that game. And so what's your takeaway from an offensive standpoint from the game?
Well, I mean, the big thing is we got to clean up a couple things in the run game. I mean, it was more, they just had some individual breakdowns, and obviously we got to take a hard look at how people played us the last 2 weeks now. They're obviously overplaying the run, both Philly and Tennessee, but the production in the passing game is there. I think we're doing a good job production-wise, but at the end of the day, we got to take care of the ball better. We had 3 giveaways against Tennessee. That's just not winning football. You can cut it any way you want. So we got to take care of it better. We're doing a really good job, leading the league, taking it away. But our giveaways, we got to really hunker down on that.
All right, Dalton Schultz, a couple of touchdown catches in that game. Big one where he went high in the air in the corner of the end zone to give you the 27-13 lead late in that game. The way Dalton has played all season long, he's so reliable at the tight end position.
Oh yeah, I mean, Dalton's so consistent, so reliable. I mean, just a true professional. Puts in all the extra time. I mean, they're early, they're late. Super early before the game. So I mean, just. It's great to see individuals put in the extra work and have the success, and he is a excellent example of that. So I thought that was clearly, Dalton's most productive game of this year. But he's exactly what every quarterback needs. You need Mr. Consistency right in front of you there, as far as those type of throws, and then obviously you've already stated that the corner throw in the back of the end zone was special.
And speaking of production, CeeDee Lamb now 3 straight 100-yard games, and what have you seen from CD here in the last half of the season? In 5 of the last 8 games, he's got 100 yards. He has over 100 catches now. What have you seen from a confidence standpoint, whatever, that's really making it where it's clicking right now for CD as much as anything?
Well, the first thing, you've already hit on it. Confidence is king in this game, and it doesn't matter what position you play. And he's not only has that confidence, but his understanding. Look at his route running. I mean, his ability to recognize coverage and leverage, more particularly what's in front of him. You could see the discipline in the route running and the connection now that he has with Dak, and it's a natural process that every receiver and quarterback goes through, and then CD and Dak definitely have that right now.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show. The coach will rejoin us in just a little bit. Up next, it's David Moore. We look ahead to Sunday in the NFL.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. The University of North Texas, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, an NRG company.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones, joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, Sports Today, DFW.com, here in the Globe Life studio as we look ahead to Sunday. And how about we look ahead to the postseason? All right, we got a little taste. Cowboys, Eagles, not only last week, but also earlier in the season. You had Jalen Hurts earlier in the season, quarterbacking the Eagles to a victory. Dak Prescott last week. How enticing, how entertaining would be a Cowboys-Eagles matchup in the postseason?
I assume you're asking me only because you know the head coach would not respond to this question, is my belief. But, yeah, I mean, this last game was just wildly entertaining. Just back and forth. Dallas overcame not one but two 10-point deficits, was down by 7 in the fourth quarter, early in the midway fourth quarter, and came back from that, scored the final 13 points. You're right, this would be the tiebreaker. I mean, this is, Dallas, Philadelphia beat Cooper Rush early in the season. Dallas beat Gardner Minshew in this last one. And so now you have the tiebreaker. And yeah, I think it just whet the appetite, but even more, to me, that game was imperative for Dallas, because if Dallas would have lost at home to a backup quarterback, there would really be no reason to expect them to have the confidence to say, well, now if we meet again in the postseason in Philadelphia, we're going to be able to break through and do this. So I thought it was huge for them, really set up a fascinating third set if they do get to that point.
Okay, you recall last year after the Cowboys opened the season against Tampa Bay, and Dak Prescott met Tom Brady at midfield and said, we'll see you again in the postseason.
He did not put a time frame on it. There's no expiration date. It's still going.
So if Tampa Bay wins over Carolina Sunday at noon, they clinch the NFC South, and there it is. Tampa Bay is the possible opponent for the Cowboys in the first round.
I would still say if they win. They faced Carolina early in the season. Carolina beat them 21-3 with a backup quarterback, or probably a third-string quarterback, I guess, at that point. And what did Carolina have the other day? 194 yards rushing in the first half. And we've seen how vulnerable this Tampa Bay Bucs team is. In fact, Monday night, watching that game on Christmas night, I thought they were just moments away from a three-way tie in that division. But all of that being said, it's still Tampa controls their fate. But if Carolina wins this one, they have the tiebreaker with Tampa Bay, and there's a very real scenario where Dallas could wind up facing Carolina.
Now, what an amazing story that is. Okay, last January, Cowboys-Niners at AT&T Stadium. What about the prospects of the Niners and Cowboys in the postseason?
Well, that's lurking there too, right? I think, one, the NFC is wide open this year, more so than even in some past years, I believe. And Philadelphia, San Francisco, Dallas, and Minnesota, in whatever order you want to put them, I think are clearly the four teams that are going to emerge and go into the second round on this. That would be tough for Dallas, because then they would not have any chance at home field in that second round. So we'll see. But San Francisco is a very complete team, and that sounds bizarre to say when currently they're going with a seventh-round rookie quarterback who's about to make his third start. Yes, not Mr. Irrelevant for what he's doing since he's come in for them.
It's been pretty amazing what Brock Purdy has done for the Niners. David Moore, we appreciate it. And the Mike McCarthy Show continues in a moment. We're joined by T.Y. Hilton.
This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions. Trusted by America's team.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. And time to introduce you to one of the newest Cowboys, T.Y. Hilton, who's making a big splash already.
T.Y. Hilton, wide receiver. It's been a wild ride. Crazy, long hours, just studying, trying to get caught up with everything, and to those guys in the locker room, from coaches to players, making me feel at home. You know, any questions I had, they was there, and they welcomed me with open arms, and that's all I can ask for. And that was a great group of guys. I just was I kind of wanted to set aside football for a little bit and watch my kids play, because I never got a chance, you know. And my oldest in high school now, he's a sophomore, so I wanted to be able to watch him and watch my middle son Ty play, and that's something I really wanted to do. So I kind of put football to the side, and then as their season started winding down, I started getting a lot of calls. So Dallas was one of them, and you know, when Jerry called, you know, you make sure you answer and see what's up. So the talks was going well, and then I started ramping up my training because I knew it could be real. So once I got that call and they wanted to fly me out, I said, let's do it. And then they sent me work out, and the rest was history. Oh, it was amazing, and it's something that I wouldn't trade for nothing in the world. And you know, the first game he had, you know, he scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime, and that moment we shared after the game, you know, all he could do was just continue to look at me and give me a big hug, big smile, and I just was so proud, you know, just to be able to watch him, because if I was playing, I wouldn't have been there at that moment, so I would cherish that for the rest of my life. I'm always training, you know, I'm always in shape. Like I told them, I'm always in shape, so it was nothing for me. The transition was pretty smooth. Like I told them, just give me a day or two, let me get my legs back under me, and I'll be ready to go. And they actually gave me an extra week, so I mean, 10 hours a day just grinding. You know, I'm one of those guys where you can't tell me to learn this one position. I have to learn all the positions, know what everybody's doing, so I can know where I'm at in the progression, what I need to clear out, what I can't go inside, gotta go outside. So, you know, just breaking that down and, you know, learning the playbook and learning how to speak Cowboy. You know, pretty much everybody run the same, but it's different languages. So, you know, when Dak asks me what I have, I got to make sure he understands what I have and not, you know, vice versa. So, it was pretty cool. I mean, long hours. KV, the assistant receiver coach, helped me out a ton, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without him. So, thank him. I mean, they're different. I mean, we all bring something different to the table, and I think that's what everybody brings in your group, no matter, you know, year 1, year 2, year 3, you're always gonna have guys that's interchangeable and guys that do certain things different. So, I mean, they're up there. I mean, we're a tough group. I mean, we all do something different. We all bring something different to the table, and we all can make plays.
T.Y. already with 5 catches for over 100 yards as a Cowboy. The coach rejoins us when the Mike McCarthy Show continues in a moment.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions. Trusted by America's team. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, here in the Globe Life studio at the Star. We look back at the Thursday win over the Tennessee Titans with the coach here. And let's talk takeaways on this defense. Off the top of the show, you talked about Dan Quinn's defense. You look at takeaways, 32 in 16 games, had 34 in 17 games to lead the league both years. You can't say enough about the way this team has been able to take the football away from the opponent. Yeah,
definitely, and you know, and just with that, you know, it speaks to the aggressiveness, it speaks to the ball skills, and you know, and just the continuity between the whole unit. So I mean, they're all playing at a high level in that area. You know, it obviously starts with your rush, and because as we all know, the takeaways come, you know, from the quarterback positions. You know, sack fumbles is always the lead opportunity for takeaways, but you know, our ball skills in the back end are as fine as I've been around, and these, you know, it's part of our aggressiveness and the match coverage that we play. And you know, obviously people come after us with double moves and things like that, but our guys do a tremendous job in that area.
And you've had to overcome injuries at the cornerback position with Jordan Lewis and Anthony Brown going down. Most snaps of his career for Nashon Wright in the game on Thursday night, and he comes up with an interception. What have you seen out of Nashon?
Yeah, I mean, Nashon's just one of those guys. You just love this because he puts, he works so dang hard, and just really had to get stronger in the offseason, and he did that, and really had to wait his turn this year. Where he played more on special teams last year. So I was just really happy to see him get out there because he's going to compete. He's going to always try to do it the right way. They got behind him a couple times, and there'll be situations he can learn from, more situational recognition of a vertical stem and those type of details. But Shawnee's got great ball skills, super competitive. So I thought he did a nice job with his biggest workload of the year.
DeMarcus Lawrence, how about from a leadership standpoint and setting the tone, and especially against a team like Tennessee? They're going to run the football a lot. He had 5 tackles in that game, had a forced fumble. He comes through, he produces on a regular basis, but that leadership that he provides in that locker room is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. D-Law is just so, on all the time, and he was a little under the weather going into the game, and he just he doesn't blink. There's never a question of how he's going to go because he's a great example of play style and productivity. He does it the right way all the time.
All right, the last week we got our first chance to see T.Y. Hilton in a Cowboys uniform, and what a debut with the 52-yard catch against the Eagles a week ago. Follows that up with almost twice as many snaps against Tennessee and 4 catches for 50 yards.
Yeah, definitely. We wanted to get T.Y. involved more. I thought Kellen and Dak did a really good job of that, and it's a good healthy rotation. It's just going to give us more flexibility, and he's an exceptional route runner, and it's nice to see him grow with the opportunities and connect with our quarterback.
All right, we wrap up this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show in just a moment.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Final couple of minutes here of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Happy New Year to all of you out there. Time for our unsung star. I'm going with the 40-year-old veteran, the 9-time Pro Bowler. I'm going with Jason Peters, who this team signed on September 1st, knowing that you might need him somewhere along the way. And he, behind the scenes, I know has been a big influence in that locker room. And now you need him, don't you?
Yeah, Jason's done a really nice job. Just the way he's come in here and fits in, and obviously brings tremendous amount of experience. But his ability just to jump back and forth from the left side and right side is a tremendous asset for us. And I thought he did a really good job when he got in there.
All right, and when you look at your offensive line situation, of course, Tyler Biadasz goes down with the injury late in the game against Tennessee. So Jason goes in at left tackle. You already got Tyron at right tackle. You move Connor McGovern to center. Tyler Smith. It's great having that versatility on your offensive line.
Well, you have to have it, and that's what this league's all about. Everybody wants to play with 5 all year. Yeah, that's definitely the goal. But to have the flexibility is exactly what we need. I think the last 2 years have reflected that. So you can see the way we've repped the different combinations, and not only for Jason Peters and Tyron to go to the right side, but I can't say enough about Tyler Smith. You're talking about a rookie that's come in here and has started at left tackle every game, but has also stayed on top of his work to be able to play left guard. So Tyler Smith's a big part of making that happen.
All right, how big is it for this team right now that you got the long weekend? Okay, you're through the grind. You just finished 3 games in 12 days, your second stretch like that in the last month, and now you take the breath and you see what's ahead for you. Yeah,
definitely. This weekend's healthy for us, and we need it. And you can see it all week going into Tennessee. Hey, we knew what the schedule was when it came out, so it's not nothing that we're not prepared for. But we'll get back in here Monday, and whether we play on Saturday or Sunday, and we know Washington's always is a tough physical game. That's what these games are supposed to be like. It'll be a big time division game, and we'll just get up and get ready to go. And as a coaching staff, we'll spend a lot of time on the last 3 games because that's where our personnel changes are. Obviously will be heightened, and we'll be ready to go against Washington.
All right, Happy New Year to you and
Happy New Year, Bill.
Family, and to all of you out there as well. And we will see you again next week on the next edition of the Mike McCarthy Show.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.